Welcome back to our wonderful Facebook Live spotlights. And we love to have this opportunity for you to get to know women who have stepped into the space of feeling the rumble and then stepping up and speaking up and getting the tools to be a speaker, writer, and influential media person for him. And they've actually taken the steps. And you get to see what is that working like for these women. We get to have all these different types of topics that these women are pursuing because it's their purpose, and see if it resonates with you. And the thing we share is this journey of some things that they can share that help them along the way, so you can see it in your journey of you being able to fulfill your purpose and be a more effective instrument in sharing that message for him. So today we have Mandy-Marie. Mandy-Marie, thanks so much for being on with us.
Thank you, Connie. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, it's so great. Let's have you take just a couple of sentences and introduce yourself quickly, and then we're going to dive right into your journey.
Okay. Well, I am a mother of 5 kids and a nana to 12. And we live in Texas. We lived in Utah for 30 years and have been in Texas for the last 2 years. And essentially, my mess of depression and perfectionism have become my message. And I've been a life coach for 10 years. And I am super excited to take the skills that I've been able to teach women one-on-one, take them out to the masses. And my first goal is to reach 10,000 women, and then 10,000, and then another 10,000 after that.
I love it. That's so scriptural. There was 10,000, another 10,000. I love it. I love it. And you have had some beautiful experiences in doing that with women, coaching them and seeing the results of them being able to utilize these tools in order to specifically overcome fears. So if those that are listening, if you have experienced fears, which we all do, but if you've experienced fears that have kept you from moving forward, kept you from achieving your dreams, or the things that you feel the rumble, they're laying on your heart and you're like, I know I need to do that, but fears have kept you from any kind of quality of life, peace in your life, Mandy is the fear solution. So she is going to help us to understand a little bit about that. She'll give a tip about that and a tool, but we're going to hear a little bit about her journey on how she actually came to wanting to talk about that. So can you give us a little bit of a breadcrumb of where did this all start and how did you come to this place of, I want to help people get rid of fears?
Well, that is definitely a loaded question.
Like a loaded baked potato.
Yeah. It really began in 2010 when I was determined to figure out what in the heck was behind the depression that I had been experiencing for, at that point, 8 years. And I was tired of the side effects of the Prozac. I was grateful for what it did, but I was tired of the side effects. And so I knew that I wanted something different. And so that led me on a journey to figuring it out, solving that, and understanding the body, mind, and spirit piece of all of that. And then as our children got a little bit older and became teenagers, they're different dynamics. And they started to really become my teachers. And I started to learn things that I was afraid of. I was afraid of some things that I believed about myself, and that I believed about God, and that I believed about the world. And so diving into those beliefs really opened up this space where now I have the freedom to handle whatever obstacles are in my way with confidence. And so I know what it feels like to be on the side of having that freedom and having that confidence. And I want that for all women. I want all women to really have an experience where whatever their obstacles are, they can be confident in spite of those obstacles. And it is absolutely possible. And that's my message. That's what I want to take out there and help people to see, because the the hundreds of people that I've been able to help so far in 10 years and the one-on-one, it's been so amazing to see women who start with, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how to do this. I am so afraid of this, and this, and turn that into standing into the truth that they can be confident despite their challenges. That is one of the most miraculous things to witness and see a woman become empowered to step into the best version of herself.
Oh, it's so magical and so needed. So take us to an experience. Can you think of experience you've had with a client and to share a tool for that? Because many women listening are going to say, "Oh, I don't even know where to start on my list of fears." There's just all different genres, spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, home, family, professionally. All of these different fears that just sort of play around and clutter our mind and our heart and soul. Is there Can you share first, what are some of the top fears that you see in women? Just some of the top one, two, three ones that you see on kind of on repeat. And then maybe you could share an experience of working with someone who had dealt with one of those fears and what that looked like.
The number one fear, 100%, doesn't matter whether I'm working with a teenager, doesn't matter whether she's a mom, whether she's single, whether she's divorced, does not matter. Across the board, the number one fear I have is that a person believes that they are not good enough.
Still, after
Yep.
all we've had about I am enough, I am enough, I'm enough.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So what I do is I help people understand what the subconscious mind is saying that is perpetuating that lie. And what is in your subconscious mind is going to be a little different than what is in my subconscious mind because we have different experiences.
Right.
So, for example, I can give an example from my own experience that I uncovered a few years into starting to figure out this. And it was this belief that I decided that nobody wanted to listen to me. And I went digging to try, like, okay, where did that come from? Where did I decide that? And it came from when I was a young woman, probably 12, 13, and I had several younger brothers and I was babysitting them a lot. I mean, I was the oldest, I was the only girl. I have 8 younger brothers. And as they got older, they stopped listening to me as the babysitter, even though I had permission from my parents to babysit them. And so I decided that nobody wanted to listen to me. And that just went into my subconscious programming. I didn't even know it was happening.
Wow.
And years down the road, when I got married, and about 8, 9 years into marriage, was something that my husband would do when we were talking with each other, which was really like a normal thing, really. But my subconscious program of like, nobody wants to listen to you would kick up and it would go, oh, yeah, see, your husband doesn't even want to listen to you. And so I would just play that on a loop in my mind. Sometimes I was very aware of it. And most of the time I was not aware that that was happening. So this loop of nobody wants to listen to you, nobody wants to listen to you is just playing in the background. And I am taking all of my life's experiences and I am comparing it against that belief. And it started to really wear me down. And for me personally, it showed up as depression.
Wow.
So when I started to put all these pieces together, I learned a skill to like really get curious about that. Like, is that really true that people don't want to listen to you? And go, no, that is a big fat lie. So I've learned how to actually reprogram the subconscious mind with truth. We know that neuroplasticity, the brain can change. It can mold differently. We can create new neural pathways in our brains. So I have developed skills and I have been taught from other people, and I've just molded it together into my own life coaching and help people create new neural pathways of truth. We know that the truth will set us free.
Mm.
And so understanding our beliefs about ourselves, God, and the world is crucial to be able to step into that freedom of what's really true.
And what is the thing that you need to pay attention to,
Yep.
right? In that process, what to let go and
Yep.
what to hold on to. I love that so much. And I know that you ask really pertinent questions. You have these different exercises that you take people through. So as we're thinking of one tool that someone could use today, is there one top of mind tool that you feel like you could help women be able to take one fear that they may have and be able to move forward, even just right now in this moment?
Yeah, it would be, it's the opt-in that I have, the Fear Solution opt-in will illustrate this, and the audio that I have where I did this with somebody will illustrate this even better. But one of the first things that I do with somebody when I know that there's fear going on is I will ask them, what does their brain think is going to happen? So for instance, if we go back to my experience, and I know you asked for an experience that I've had with a client, but I will always say, okay, so if nobody wants to listen to you, then what does your brain think might happen? Well, then that I'm not worth anything. Like, why am I even here? Okay, and then if your brain says, why even be here? Then what does it think might happen? Well, nobody's going to even know I live. So like, why even stay around on the planet? Now that can seem pretty extreme, but I tell you, it's not. Like, this is very, very common. And it's very common to get down to the root. Like, I would say probably 9.5 out of 10 times when I take people through this, it comes down to value. Oh, I'm not as valuable. Or I will be more valuable if I do XYZ. And it's a big lie, because value doesn't change. It can't go up and it can't go down. So teaching people that one principle is like life altering, because we run patterns as human beings to try to increase our value. And we're just spinning and spinning and spinning. And no matter what we do, I mean, we could have a perfect life and we're still like conflicted inside, and internally we're just at war. And the reason why is because we are trying to do something we cannot do. Our value cannot change.
That is so powerful. And I think when people can verbalize that and focus on that, embrace that, like actually see that, say it, and see it in their own lives, that's when those shifts can start to happen of, oh, that's not just something that someone's saying or it's true for someone else. That's actually true for me. And how does that show up in my daily life, my daily decisions, my decisions to do or not to do things, or the way that I'm going to speak, or the way I'm going to dress, or the way I'm going to present myself in any situation. I love this. And I know you mentioned that opt-in, it's a little, it's an audio, and I've listened to it. She actually took someone through 5 questions that are like that one that she just shared. And actually you hear the audio of her working someone through these 5 questions, and you can hear the life shift of it in this woman's voice. You can hear that aha of, oh my gosh, you know what? I'm doing that and I don't need to do X, Y, or Z in that. So I so encourage you, if you want, Mandy-Marie, where would they get that audio?
So they can go to coachmandymarie.com, and it will be on that web page there that they will see the fear solution, and they can click on that and get access to that.
Okay, so coachmandymarie.com. It's so powerful. I was listening to that and I thought, oh my gosh, that hearing somebody verbalize those questions was so different than just seeing them on a paper, but hearing the voice and the aha and the realization, that helped me a lot to see the reality of those questions in my own life. And you're so right. This shift, it's that Elder Uchtdorf by a few degrees, that talk that he had, that it can be the smallest little awareness or perspective.
Yeah.
But that shift changes everything. Those tumblers just go, and you just show up different. As we wrap this up, I would love to hear one last thought on this. Is there someone that you've worked with that comes to mind that you're like, I saw that shift in that person, and maybe it was really small, but you saw that once they had a handle on that they could do it differently? Does anyone come to mind?
Yeah, a teenage client that I've been working with for a while. And as I taught her this principle months and months ago, it's amazing. And this happens with everybody I work with. It's amazing how I'll start down this pattern of questioning, and I don't even have to get to the end, and they're like, oh, dang it, it's my word again. Like, really? I thought that I'd figured that out. I'm like, is this so good to know? And they're like, yes. So it's not it kind of sneaks up on them, sort of, but they get it, right? And so to see like this particular young woman who put so much into what other people think and what the boys think about her, and to teach her that her value isn't going to go up if the boys pay attention to her, and it's not going to go down if the boys don't pay attention to her. That is so incredibly liberating for a teenage girl who is in the thick of toxicity at school. Like, I mean, that's the world we live in, right? And to just give her that piece of confidence that we go over and over and over. This is not like a one time and, oh yeah, I got it. Because to undo what's in the subconscious, it takes time, but it is so worth it, because when that little shift then finally happens, and it's like, oh yeah, now I just get curious every single time. What is my thought telling me? How am I feeling about it? What impact is that having on my life? Is it true? That's the biggest question I ask. Is it true? What if it's not true? And it's like, oh, I never even considered that maybe it's not true.
And that
So
takes you down a whole other circuit board,
yes,
right? Once
yeah.
you can identify what's true and what isn't, now
Mm,
you can start going on this and creating this beautiful upward vortex of truth of, oh, that's how I can show up. That's how I'm going to play. That's how I'm going to do this. And
yeah.
instead of being in this sort of shrinking downward spiral. Love this. Mandy-Marie, I know there's going to be people out there who are like, oh, I would like to coach with her. I'd like to do a session with her. What's the best way for them to find you?
CoachMandyMarie.com.
Perfect. Check it out and you can find out what is the best fit for you from what she's offering. And I so encourage you to get that download. Just listen to it. It was so inspiring. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Connie.
So great. And if you want to have more tips and tools, check out some of these other Facebook highlights that we've done, these spotlights that we do to help you get to know these women, their journey on being able to be feeling the rumble and then fulfilling it as a speaker, writer, and a media presence for him. And if you want, check it out and then give us a call if you feel like, you know what? I'm ready. I want to get rid of this stuff. I feel the rumble. I want to move forward. I don't know how. I need people who do. Check it out. Give us a call. We do free discovery calls. I'm happy to chat with you and just see where you're at, where you want to go, and how we can help you get there. Enjoy.